All right, first and foremost, we give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh. We do so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Christ, Yahshar. Ahshar, Chaadash, Yasharahla, Shabbat Shalom, and whatnot. That's Brother Chief Priest Al-Azhar Banoya, aka the Gorilla Hebrew.
Brother Sicarii Banoya.
All right, and we ready to go into this new moon class on this new moon, this new month. We got the Feast of First Fruits coming up in the spirit here in a couple weeks during this month. Of course, a month is dictated by the moon. That's where you get the word month from. Moon, right. All right. So we got that coming up in a couple weeks, but this is just the new moon of the month, our first day of the month in the spirit, and we want to tackle some topics in the spirit this week. We'll open up the floor for questions after we're done with tonight's lesson in the spirit. But we want to deal with this week is Donald Trump and all that's been going on with the situation in the quote unquote Middle East. You have first Donald Trump walking away from the Iran nuclear deal. All right. So, matter of fact, a lot of articles on this. Ooh, we.
Man, literally, I was going to ask if you want to get the scripture because they read it gonna do, and I literally opened up 4 classes and stuff.
What?
Yeah, broken his covenant because they read it.
Okay.
Want to read that?
Yeah, just 1 second.
Okay.
Let's read this article to start. We're gonna read this article here via the Guardian. So go ahead.
It says, last week, Donald Trump made one of the most reckless moves of his presidency, withdrawing from the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or JCPOA, also known as the Iran Nuclear Agreement. With this decision, the president discarded years of hard work by our diplomats who had obtained an extremely rigorous set of restrictions and inspections guaranteeing that Iran would not obtain a nuclear weapon.
Okay, right, which they've already had their nuclear program, right? Go ahead.
He also slammed the door on a once promising possibility of, detent between the U.S. and Iran. It's important to understand that the JCPOA is not just an agreement between the U.S. and Iran, but one negotiated alongside our partners in the P5+1.
P5+1. These are 5 countries. Read.
It's
really 6 now. Go ahead.
The UK, France, China, Russia, and Germany.
So you have 5 countries that have all agreed to stifle the development of an Iranian nuclear weapon. Go ahead.
It says, and endorsed by the United Nations Security Council.
Go ahead.
Trump's withdrawal further deepens tensions with our most important democratic allies. France.
With what?
Our most important democratic allies.
Hold what you got. Revelations. There you go. See, this is all happening, and the Most High God is, all praises to the Most High Yahweh in heaven. That the Most High is due all the praise, honor, and glorification. And the reason is because there was men that existed on the earth a couple thousand years ago. And those men, he showed them things. And the men didn't understand fully the things that they saw. They saw similitudes. They saw visions. They had dreams of things and places and peoples and empires that had not existed at the time that they were given these visions. But the Most High God gave them these visions, played them in front of them like a movie, These men wrote these visions down. They left these visions behind. So us here in these latter days, as the descendants of the Hebrew Israelites of old, could find them and read them and know exactly what was going to play out today. The Most High God is so powerful. Get the Most High in here. The Most High God is so powerful and wonderful and beautiful and magnificent that he's given all of this to us. In the mouth of babes, of niggas and spicks, of high school dropouts, of ex-convicts, convicted felons, gang members. What America would say the dregs of society is. The Most High God has given us the understanding that he gave to our forefathers and wrote in this book that nobody wants to believe, this book that everybody calls us crazy for believing in, this book that everybody says the white man wrote it. Oh, man wrote it. It's corrupt. I could go in the book and read verbatim what is happening in the news.
That's right.
This book, the last page of it was written 2,000 years ago. But I'm reading about today as if I'm watching CNN.
Right.
It's so powerful. All praise Yahweh Shemel Shah. Go ahead.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 16. It says, and the 10 horns.
And the 10 horns, read on.
Which thou sawest.
The 10 horns. This is Europe. This is the power structure of Western Europe. Read.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast. These shall hate the whore.
These shall what?
Hate the whore.
These shall hate the whore. Who is the whore? America.
Right.
And no one else. The whore is the United States of America, man. That's who the whore is. And that whore is beginning to be hated.
That's right.
By the horns in which was once allied to it. They're starting to get mad. Man, you messing up. The horns know Iran has power. Has so much thermonuclear power that they could wipe each and every one of them off the face of the earth in conjunction with Russia, India, China, Syria, Pakistan, right? They're familiar with this. So they don't want no smoke with Iran. America is going out of its way to goad its enemies into war, man. The title of this article that we're currently reading is Trump backing out of the Iran nuclear deal puts America on the path to war. And it's so beautiful and people can't understand it. But why can we understand it? Because we've been given the word of God. Right. And not only have we been given the word of the Most High, we've been given through the spirit of the Most High understanding of this word. And by getting this understanding, we read it, we see what it is, and then we watch it on the news. And other people are surprised and they don't know what's going on and they puzzle and they frightening and they panic and they scratching their head. They're trying to figure it out. Meanwhile, through the spirit of the Most High, we got it figured out. Read your precept out.
This book of 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 12. Unto whom it was revealed that not unto themselves,
read,
but unto us they did minister the things which are now reported.
You see that? They ministered the things to us, not then, but now they minister to us. Read on.
Which are now reported unto you by them that have preached the gospel unto you with the Holy Ghost.
That's right. So John saw something then that he didn't fully understand.
Right.
But we understand it now through the Spirit because it's for the time that we are in currently and presently. So go back to Revelation.
This book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore.
These shall hate who?
The whore.
The whore, America. Read.
And shall make her desolate and naked.
And make her what?
Desolate and naked.
Meaning be co-conspirators in her destruction.
Right.
Read.
And shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire.
That's right. People saying the whore is this and that. People say the whore don't exist yet. Some people are saying the whore is a Catholic church. I want to understand how the horns are going to burn the Catholic Church. I would love somebody to rationalize that to me. Let's go to, matter of fact, real quick. Let's go to Nahum real quick because it's talking about the whore, man.
Right.
And it's important to understand who and what a whore is. Some people are saying the whore is this and that. What verse you at? You know what I need in Nahum?
Yeah.
3. It should be about 3. Right here, 4, 3 and 4. This is what a whore is. Read.
This is the book of Nahum, chapter 3 and verse 4. Because of the multitude of the because of the multitude of the whoredoms.
Of the whoredoms of what?
Of the well-favored.
Of the well-favored what?
Harlots.
Harlot. What is a harlot? A whore. A well-favored harlot. Context. Verse 1. Let's see what it's talking about. Let's see if it's talking about a religious system. Let's see if it's talking about some hoe walking the blade,
right?
An ideology, or what is it talking about? Let's find out. Read
This
that.
book of Nahum, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Woe to the bloody city.
To who?
To the bloody city.
Talking about a place.
Right.
Geographical locale. Read.
It is all full of lies.
Is America a bloody city? Yeah. Again, the initial context of this is Nahum prophesying to Assyria, right? But applicably and prophetically, this is a modern day Assyria that we live in.
Right.
Why? Because in Assyria was a place our people were captive, right? But the whole purpose of reading this is to prove that a well-favored harlot in this prophetic context is talking about a nation, not a system. Read from the top.
This book of Nahum, chapter 3 and verse 1. Woe to the bloody city.
Read on.
It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not.
Then the prey departeth not, right? By the same way of Assyria was a bloody city, America is a bloody city. Full of robbery. America's full of robbery, even that much more than Assyria. And the prey departeth not. We still here. Jump back to 4.
Verse 4. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts.
America is another mistress of witchcrafts. Number one, if you just take a look at the way that the capital of America is built, Washington, D.C., you can see how it's a mistress of witchcrafts. Read on.
That selleth nations.
That selleth what?
Nations.
Nations. Selleth nations. Selleth Israel as a nation. Then went and conquered different nations and called it their own. Guam, Hawaii, Samoa, the Solomon Islands, the Midway Islands. Selleth nations, read.
Through her whoredoms. And families through her witchcrafts.
And families through her witchcrafts, man. And all families come to America because they're indoctrinated with the American dream. So in the same way ancient Assyria of this initial context is, it's applicable to America. Read on.
Verse 5. Behold, I am against thee, saith Yahweh of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face.
Read.
And I will show the nations thy nakedness.
In the same way he did to Assyria, he will also do to America. Read.
And the kingdoms thy shame. And I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock.
So he had the prophet Nahum prophesy this about a country, not about a system, not about some girl walking down the street, not about some antichrist.
Right.
He prophesied this about a country, about a place. So this is applicable only to countries and places.
Right.
What place is this applicable to in this day and time? The United States of America. That's the whore. That's the whore that the horns are beginning to hate. That was in the Revelations.
I'll go back. It's Revelation chapter 17, verse 17. It says, for God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will.
He has people programmed. And that's what today's whole lesson is going to be about the Most High God controls Donald Trump.
That's right.
Because God has people programmed to do what he wants to be done for his purpose. And what is his purpose? The destruction of America and the implementation of the kingdom of heaven on earth under his son, Hamashiach Yahushua, and the rulership of the nation of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
That's right.
That's his purpose. So all of this is working cohesively to the purpose of the Most High Yahweh. Right? Go ahead.
And to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast.
That's right.
Until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled.
That's right. Unto the beast. That's that NATO and EU power structure. So now let's go back. Where was we at? To the article. Let's go back to this article here. Salakia.
I'm going to just start, not the beginning, but where we left off. It says, it's important to understand that the JCPOA is not just an agreement between the U.S. and Iran, but one negotiated alongside our partners in the P5+1.
With 6 other countries, read.
The UK, France, China, Russia, and Germany.
Right? So we got the UK, France, and Russia. I mean, in Germany, rather. Those are 3 of the horns. And those are the horns that are beginning to hate the whore. Go ahead.
And endorsed.
Because that all deals with the common markets, man. Right? Go ahead.
And endorsed by the United Nations Security Council. Trump's withdrawal further deepens tensions with our most important democratic allies.
Our most important democratic allies, a.k.a. the horns. Read.
It says France, the United Kingdom, and Germany.
3 of the horns, read.
all continue to support the agreement and have consistently said that it is in their own national security interest.
Exactly. What France and what the UK and what Germany is saying is, it's not smart for us to not diplomatically deal civilly with Iran. It's not smart for the safety of our citizens to live in fear of thermonuclear attacks from Iran and its allies. What America is doing is making us vulnerable and susceptible to those things. And this is what is going to turn them against America. Right? I recently watched a show called Ballers, starring the brother of The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. And he was dealing with this wealthy casino owner in Vegas. Wealthy casino owner in Vegas, right? And what his goal was to bring football to Las Vegas in this show. Bring a major National Football League franchise to Vegas. It ended up being the Oakland Raiders, which enough actually are moving to Vegas, right? In that show, he's dealing with this dude, and then another group rises up, and they want to bring football to Vegas. So the way the NFL works is you have to present yourself before the board of owners, before all the owners of all the teams, and they have to allow you, they have to vote you in order for you to own an NFL franchise. So now you have two groups that are rival bids. At the last second, the white man that The Rock was dealing with from Vegas, the casino owner, who was with him every step of the way up until the day before negotiations and presentations to see who would get picked, said, the odds are stacked against us so much with this rival group that I'm now pulling out, I'm leaving you, and I'm going to the rival group. Last day, ain't that the devil? Right. But that's what these devils are going to do. Yes, America, you've been so powerful and mighty, and it's been expedient. You whooped our ass in wars of past, right, and it's expedient for us to be in bed with you. But it's going to come a time very soon that Russia and Iran and China and their allies are going to have so much clout and so much firepower that it would be insane for the likes of these horns to continue on with you. So they're going to turn against America. But the problem is they still going to get hit, and it's still going to be war. But they are going to try to turn against America to not get caught up in the backlash of America going against the four horns. But the four horns are still going to get these four carpenters. Because who are the four horns? America, Britain, France, Spain. Those are the four horns. And the four carpenters are coming to remove the four horns, which are Russia, Brazil, Israel, India, and China, man. All right? That goes into Zechariah 1, but go back to that.
It says, France, the UK, and Germany, who all continue to support the agreement.
They all continually support that agreement to try to stifle Iran's development of thermonuclear weaponry. Read.
And have consistently said that it is in their own national security interest to see it upheld. If I may. Go ahead. Literally on CNN today, going into the Palestinian, how they were getting killed out there in the land of Israel, right? One of the analysts on CNN said basically, and he literally verbatim said, this is literally like America just trying to hurry up against Armageddon. He verbatim said that. So
America wants to hurry, and it's true. But why? The question is, because this is how puzzling that all these other countries are, and the reporter is, why is Donald Trump doing this? Why would he speed up this inevitable thing that we've been trying to delay and stop so much? I'll tell you why. Because the Most High God is speeding up his program. That's right. That's the only reason. No other person would be this stupid. Right. Obama was getting punked left and right in these situations. Punked out. Because what was he trying to do? He was trying to stop this. Right? Trump gets in, he's trying to go head first. Because the Most High God is controlling him, man.
That's right.
Read.
It says, Trump also rejected the advice of his own top national security officials.
He said that he don't even listen to Americans, man. The nigga doing what he wants, man. Right. And that's why we love Trump. Why do we love Trump? Because he's going to get this thing started, man. That's Lord willing. We believe it the way he's moving. So hopefully it's him. Hopefully he's the one the Lord chose to kick this thing off. You had some idiot black woman on CNN saying that Donald Trump is essentially the reincarnation of King Cyrus.
Yeah.
No, honey. That's not who he is. He's like a modern day Nebuchadnezzar. All right. Cyrus them is getting ready to. She's talking about Cyrus. Cyrus them is who he just stepped away from at the table.
No, exactly.
And they get ready to. Cyrus is Assad in them. Not Assad. That's Assad in Iran, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Assad is Syria.
Assad is Syria, Salakia. I forget the nigga in Iran.
Used to be Ahmadinejad.
Used to be Ahmadinejad. It's somebody else now. That's the modern day Cyrus, if anybody's Cyrus. Not that devil Trump, man. He's the leader of Babylon now. Go ahead.
It says Trump also rejected the advice of his own top national security officials.
That's powerful. Go ahead.
Like the Joint Chiefs Chairman.
Salute to you, Trump. Go ahead.
It says like the Joint Chiefs Chairman, General Joseph Dunford, and Defense Secretary James Mattis. He's literally, this man has never been in any kind of military, never been involved in any form of politics, and he's getting advice from generals, right? People that have been involved in these situations for their entire lives, and he just okay, and then go do something totally. And that ain't the most I put spit on him.
That's God, man. That can't be nothing else. Go ahead.
General, right? It says both of whom have repeatedly stated that staying in the agreement is the national security interests of the U.S. nuclear non-proliferation and national security professionals.
So, like, we'll be answering questions after the lesson. After the lesson, go ahead.
Around the world shared that assessment.
So everybody says that Trump is a damn fool for doing this. So what does that prove? That God is controlling him and steering him to his purpose. That's clear, right? Keep going.
It says, just as he has done on the issue of climate change with his withdrawal from the Paris Climate Accord, Trump has chosen to ignore the overwhelming expert consensus and sided instead with a small ideological faction with disastrous consequences for our global security.
Go ahead.
Which is destruction of America.
That's beautiful. We love it.
It says, withdrawing from the JCPOA also seriously harms the U.S.'s ability to negotiate future non-proliferation agreements.
Meaning they're never going to be able to stop anybody from having nukes. That's what that means. Go ahead.
Such as one with North Korea.
Yeah. Which, again, Iran has got their nukes. They've been developing them, and they're going to keep developing them. And guess what? North Korea, they're successfully, according to their state TV, they've developed their nuke. Their nuclear program is all the way ready. Right. Meaning what? That's why they're sitting down with South Korea now. Because they have something they can sit down at the table with. See, these smaller countries, these Irans, these North Koreas, these Russias, what they understood is when America dropped Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they changed the game. Right. No one ever did that. Get Revelations, many miracles. They shall make fire come down from heaven. Bible shot. Yes, Revelations 13. America changed the game. Went everybody into hiding. That's Isaiah the 14th chapter expounds on that. Is this the man that did weaken the nations, it says. That's what America has accomplished. They've scared everybody. So what do nations do now that want to come to a table, that want to be taken seriously on a global scale, that just don't want to be the punk of America? They built their nuclear program up. Okay. And now they say, when I sit at the table with you, you're going to respect the things that I say. Right. Why are you going to respect the things that I say? Because I have the same firepower that you have. If me and you both have a gun, I got to talk to you now. You got to do a negotiation now. How we going to walk about it? If I got a gun and you don't have a gun, nigga, sit your ass down. Right. You're at my mercy. Right. But if we're both armed, it's either one, we're going to sit down and negotiate disrespectfully, and we both live, or we're going to have a showdown, and the quickest draw is going to win. Yep. And that boy got an itchy trigger finger up there in North Korea. I'm going to tell you that right now. He was raised with an itchy trigger finger. His daddy had an itchy trigger finger, man. So how much more his? You shall know a man and his children, right or wrong. That's right. Go ahead.
This book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 13. And he doeth great wonders.
He doeth what?
Great wonders.
Great wonders. Read on.
So that he maketh fire come down from heaven.
That's what America has done. He's made fire come down from heaven. That was Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Read on.
That he make fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
Everybody saw that. And it made everybody scared. Isaiah 14. It made everybody frightened. Every nation frightened. So the nations that wanted to be taken seriously, they went and got armed. They went and got armed, and they went and got ready to take it to America if they had to. And now they're ready. Russia's ready. North Korea is ready. Iran is on the way to being ready. China's ready. You see what I'm saying? That's what's happening right now. All according to biblical prophecy. It's all lining up beautifully through the Spirit and power of the Most High. Right? You got what I need? 14. Is this him that did weaken the nation? Go ahead.
Yeah, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 16.
Uh-huh.
They that see thee shall narrowly look upon
When
thee.
America falls, and you see this white man in America, you're going to narrowly look upon him and say what?
And consider thee, saying,
Uh-huh.
Is this the man?
Is that the guy? Read.
Is this the man that made the earth to tremble?
Is that the man that made everyone scared when he dropped Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Is that the man that was punking nations for decades, for half a century? Read.
That did shake kingdoms?
They shook kingdoms. Shook Japan when it dropped them bombs upon it. Read.
That made the world as a wilderness?
That made what?
The world as a wilderness?
That's what the bombs did, man. They made Hiroshima and Nagasaki as a wilderness. Read.
And destroyed the cities thereof.
And did what?
And destroyed the cities thereof.
See what I'm saying? That's clear what it's talking about. Read.
That opened not the house of his prisoners.
Got us locked up. Is that man?
Yep.
That's America, man.
Yep.
That's what it's talking about. And it's going to be destroyed, thus saith the Lord.
That's right.
So what you see now is the foundation of all of that being laid. Right? Go ahead.
More on that?
No, that's it. Go back to the article.
And real quick, as when it says that opened not the house of his prisoners, when you look at the statistics, America has the most prisoners by far out of any nation, like doubled, more than tripled, I want to say, than the second place.
They got more places locked up than certain countries got populations, man.
Yes.
And they all, our people, the Israelites. Go ahead.
It says, withdrawing from the JCPOA also seriously harms the U.S.'s ability to negotiate future non-proliferation agreements, such as one with North Korea. Why would any country in the world sign such an agreement with the U.S. and make the tough concessions that any such agreement requires if they thought that a reckless president might simply discard that agreement a few years later?
So what does that mean? This reckless president is hurting the negotiation power of the United States of America as a country forever. Even if it doesn't happen when Trump is in all, this is because we don't know. We're hoping it happens during the Trump administration.
Right.
We hope so. But it may not happen. It could drag on past that. But what Trump is doing now is so beautiful because it is damaging the negotiation validity that America will have moving forward, because they'll say, well, they'll put anybody in that goddamn office.
Right. Exactly.
They put any asshole in that office. So guess what? Even though you may be a sensible president, you ain't going to be around more than 8 years. So guess what? 8 years down the line, another asshole like Trump can rise up, get put into that Oval Office, and then we have somebody who's recklessly going to disannul our agreements. Right. So you know what? We'll keep our nukes. Go ahead. See, that's the thing. When you hear about Iran developing this nuclear deal with America, you have to understand. Some people say, damn, man, this is supposed to happen, A, B, and C. No, damn that. The Most High purpose is going to happen. So he's going to put Donald Trump in that office. He's going to make Donald Trump radical and hateful and not give a damn. And it's beautiful that he's doing it, because what Trump is doing, it's trickling down, and it's furthering so many of the purposes of God. This being one of them, making the nuclear war come closer, making the horns hate them, but also making the tribes come together, man. Where black and Hispanics can look at each other and say, man, this cracker hates all of us.
That's right.
Right? We got to come together, man. They're against us. Read.
It says, to be clear, Iran is engaged in a lot of bad behavior, including backing dictator Bashar al-Assad's war against the Syrian people. Support for violent extremist groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon.
Oh, Hezbollah. They just hate Hezbollah.
Right.
They just hate Hamas. Right? Read.
It says, and Hamas in Palestine.
But what? Iran loves Hamas. Iran loves Hezbollah. Those are their allies. Those are their Muslim brothers. Right? They're going to back them. Read.
It says, and human rights abuses inside, it says, and Hamas in Palestine, and human rights abuses inside Iran.
It's so hilarious. They're talking about human rights abuses. Where's the rights of those Palestinians that were murdered today?
Right.
Where were their rights? We're talking about human rights, civil rights abuses. Israel is abusing the people of Palestine every day. No one says anything. Hamas are the bad guys, right? But the Israeli government is mass murdering Palestinians. But nobody says anything. But Iran got the bad rap, right?
Okay.
Go ahead.
It says, however, if we are genuinely concerned about these Iranian policies, as I am, this is the worst possible course.
This is the worst thing. Basically, they're saying, what's the worst that can happen? What Donald Trump just did is the worst that can happen for this country.
Right.
If you love this country, if you care about this country, if you want the success and the prosperity of this country, then you have to absolutely hate what Trump is doing right now. You have to take a look at the moves that Trump is making, and you have to loathe them. You have to find them disagreeable. But we find them great, and we're happy. And we praise the Most High for what Donald Trump is doing because we see the prophecies.
That's right.
Read.
It says it will make addressing all of these other issues harder. Unfortunately, we heard no strategy from Trump.
He don't even have a strategy. They don't even got a plan. Listen, I'm just not a part of that deal. I can't do it. I'm walking out at the boardroom like I've done so many times. Go ahead.
It says, unfortunately, we haven't heard no strategy from Trump when he announced his decision.
There's nothing strategic about it other than I'm ready to go to war. Read.
Just the usual bluster.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Go ahead.
It says, bluster and Iran bashing will not get us to a better future.
No, it's going to get you with no future.
Right.
Thank the Most High. Read.
Right. We need to continue to try to talk with Iran's government.
Yeah, one of y'all try it.
Right.
Because your president is done talking. He don't want to talk.
He don't want to talk.
Go ahead.
Seek a better relationship with the Iranian people.
Yeah. Good luck. That'll happen.
And a more constructive role for Iran in the region. Trump's approach makes achieving those goals more difficult. It has already emboldened the regime's hardliners, who are much more comfortable dealing with a hostile America than with a reasonable peace.
Yeah, they not. Iran is comfortable.
Right.
They want America to be hostile because they don't like you.
That's right.
They want any excuse to blow you up. And that's beautiful because the Most High is putting that spirit on them. Okay. The spirit of war is out here, man. The spirit of death is in the world right now. With them 52 Palestinians dead, Iran want to turn it up. Trump want to turn it up. Go in these American cities, man. It's all kind of gang wars and all kind of murders that's going on all over the place. Brother, on his block, Brother Captain Tazamah, 5 people were shot on his block at one time. This week, 5 people at one time shot on the block. Night before that, 2 murdered up the street. You see what I'm saying? They ain't had that type of a firefight in San Diego in a time, right? So it's all kind of murders and all kind of shootings that are going on everywhere in the damn world right now. Why? Because that spirit is out here. Because the Most High is sending spirits to control that, to amp all of that up. And then we're going to dip more into that because that's what's motivating Trump and controlling Trump is the Most High God and him sending spirits out, angels out to influence people. That's how the Most High God works to his purpose, right? So read.
It says, after 17 years of war in Afghanistan and 15 years of war in Iraq, the American people do not want to be engaged in never-ending wars in the Middle East.
Well, you know what? Here's the difference between Afghanistan and Iraq. These niggas got nukes.
Right.
They said Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. Right. Didn't recover one. They're scared of Iran having weapons of mass destruction. And Trump walking away from this table ensures that they have them. Go ahead.
They do not want to draw into a Sunni Shia, Saudi Arabia, Iran regional conflict. But I am deeply concerned that that is exactly where President Trump is taking us. If anyone were inclined to dismiss those concerns, I would remind them that Trump's newly installed national security advisor, John Bolton, wrote an article a few years ago entitled, and he says, quote, "To stop Iran's bomb Iran," end quote.
Oh my God. Hold on. He said to stop Iran's bomb Iran. I mean, that's literally the only solution. That's why I said when you both got guns, it's going to be who's going to get to the draw the fastest. That's the only thing that can happen at that point, right? So read.
It says, by withdrawing from the nuclear agreement and making clear their goal of escalation, Trump and his administration seem to be creating their own excuse for doing exactly that.
You see that? War. Spirit of war is out here, man.
That's right.
Spirit of war. Right? It's a year of war. It's a year of prophecy and war. Prophecy is about war. That's what this year is about. We said at the top of the year in the spirit, right? Us and others, all right? But that's it on that article?
No, there's a lot more.
All right, go keep going.
It says, we should remember that the road to the Iraq war did not simply begin in 2003. It was laid down brick by brick over a number of years with policy decisions that might have seemed relatively small at the time.
All at the time. See, that's how this works. It all seems small. Like a brother, Sergeant Shamar was telling me about the show Mr. Robot he be watching, right? Come on the USA Network. And he was telling me that in Mr. Robot, like you're watching the show and you know what's going on, and that's what you're paying attention to. But over the course of time, over the seasons, you'll see things like gas is $10, austerity measures, curfew. Like if they don't stop, yeah, they don't stop it. And there's a news thing that says this is going on, or they're not amplifying it, but it's just being eased in through the life of the show. Right? Go ahead.
It says,
it's a lot.
It said, with decisions that might have seemed relatively small at the time, but that ultimately led us to the worst foreign policy blunder in our history.
Go ahead.
It says the Iraq war had enormous unintended consequences that we are still dealing with today.
No, very intentional consequences. There was nothing unintended about the consequences of the Iraq war. George W. Bush knew exactly what he was doing. Go ahead.
It said, and will be for many years to come. Indeed, one of those unintended consequences was the empowering of Iran in Iraq and elsewhere around the region. It is folly.
You see that? So it's just showing you that going even back to what Bush did, it empowered Iran. Iran was empowered. So the Most High used all these presidents that you guys hate. God is using them.
Right.
He's using them to do all kinds of things that are, this is why you people hate them, because you love this place. And what they're doing is sealing the imminent destruction of this place.
That's
the inevitable destruction of America. Read.
It says, it is folly to imagine that.
It is folly, right? Go ahead.
Having unleashed these problems through the misuse of military force, we can solve them in the same way.
You see that? You ain't going to have enough military force when it comes down to it. All right, Iran is not going to make the same mistake Iraq did. They're going to have nukes. They're going to shoot back. They're going to have the ability to shoot back.
That's right.
Read.
It says, yet President Trump's, says, bellicose, B-L-L-I-C-O.
I don't even know what the hell that is.
Yeah. President Trump's bellicose speech last week clearly seemed to shift American policy toward the same goal of regime change that underlay the Iraq war. Real American leadership and real American power is not shown by our ability to blow things up, but by our ability to bring parties together.
Yeah, no, real American power is blowing things up. I don't know if you know that or not. America are the greatest terrorists that you've ever seen, next to God. And you're going to see God rain down terror on America very soon.
That's right.
Go ahead.
It says to forge international consensus around shared problems and then to mobilize that consensus to address those problems.
Yeah, that's the American way, isn't it?
Yeah, that's, if I may. It's like,
tell that to the Vietnamese, man.
Like these crackers just think America's just this big peacemaker, and every time there's a problem, just go to America and we're going to sit. America's going to sit everybody down in a round table. Let's fix it. Let's talk about it. Meanwhile, America's bombing the piss out of little ass Middle Eastern countries, man. Right? But they're
a bully.
Right. I'm gonna keep going. It says that is what the JCPOA did. Unfortunately, President Trump has now chosen to put us on a very different, more dangerous path. It's the end of the article.
That's beautiful. A more dangerous path. That's to war. That's to the imminent destruction of this place.
That's right.
Again, all praise Yahweh Shah for
That's
that.
right.
It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. The Most High is just working so perfectly. And we're gonna get the scriptures on it. Let's go to Isaiah 14. You was just in there.
I'm in there right now.
Boom. 14 and 24. I'll start there.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 24.
Yahweh
of hosts hath sworn.
Has sworn. Go ahead.
Saying, Surely as I have thought, so shall it come to pass.
How the Most High thinks, it should happen. What the Most High thinks, he brings into existence. He thought for the destruction of America through the means of Russia, Iran, and their allies. It shall happen. So he's using Donald Trump as one of the catalysts in order to do it. Right? That's it on that?
No, there's more.
Go ahead.
And as I have purposed, so shall it stand.
He has a purpose. His purpose is for America to fall. His purpose is for America to fall by lands that in ancient times were called Gog, Magog, and Persia, now are called Russia and Iran. And by those means will this place fall because God said so.
Okay.
Right? Go ahead.
A little bit more. I'm going to jump to verse 27.
It
says, for Yahweh of hosts hath proposed, and who shall disannul it?
Nobody's going to disannul it.
Okay.
You people are yelling at Trump. How stupid can you be? Why would you do this? Here's Trump for no reason, no explanation, has no strategic purpose for why he's doing what he's doing.
Okay.
He's just doing it.
Right.
Because God purposed it.
That's
Read.
Right. It says, for Yahweh of hosts hath purposed, and who shall disannul it?
You can't do anything about it. So Trump is doing things that the average person finds totally illogical, and you should find it illogical. But guess what? He's doing it because God wants him.
That's right.
God wants America wiped off the face of the earth. If that's
right.
not evident by Trump's actions, I can't tell you what is.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And his hand is stretched out, and who shall turn it back?
That's it. That's absolutely it. Proverbs 16:9.
Okay.
You're all right.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, and verse 9. It says, a man's heart deviseth his way.
A man's heart deviseth his way.
But Yahweh.
So Trump had plans to become a president. He had thoughts. He had dreams. He envisioned what would occur when he had the power. But what?
It says, but Yahweh.
But the Most High, read.
Directed his steps.
The Most High directed his steps a different way. To his way, to his purpose. Job 12:10. To his purpose. That's what's being fulfilled. And it's making white people everywhere lose their goddamn mind because their precious America its days are numbered. Clearly. Right? Read on.
Job 12, I'm going to start at 9. It says, who knoweth not in all these that the hand of Yahweh hath wrought this? In whose hand is the soul of every living thing.
The Most High is in control of every living thing. Read.
And the breath of all mankind.
You see, in the breath of all mankind. His soul, his hand is controlling every living thing. So he's fully controlling Donald Trump at this point for his purpose. Psalms 115:3. I'm
going to go to verse 14. It says, behold, he breaketh down, and it cannot be built again. He shutteth up a man, and there can be no opening. Verse 17, it says, he leadeth counselors away spoiled, and maketh the...
He leadeth what?
Counselors away spoiled.
All of Trump's counselors come. Yeah. No, don't do this. He led them away. Trump ain't hear none of that. Go ahead.
It says, and maketh the judges fools.
Damn fool. He's the judge of this country, Trump. A damn fool. Nobody gonna dispute that. Even the supporters don't want to stand by this Iran madness, right? Let's sit on that.
I mean, there's more, but we can go back.
Yeah, Psalm 115:3.
This book of Psalms, chapter 115 and verse 3. But our God is in the heavens. He hath done whatsoever he hath pleased.
What he done? What?
Whatsoever he hath pleased.
The Most High God, Yahweh, would do exactly what he wants. And that's seen on the earth. He controls what we see here on the earth. So what he wants to happen is what's happening. As is written, thy kingdom will come, thy will be done. So the will of Yahweh is what we see every day. Proverbs 19:21.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 19 and verse 21. There are many devices in a man's heart.
Many devices in your heart, read.
Nevertheless, the counsel of Yahweh, that shall stand.
So no matter what you think of what you want to do, it doesn't matter. What God wants to happen, what Yahweh wants to happen, that's what we're going to see happen. That's what we're going to see occur. And what we're seeing now is what the Most High God wants to happen. Very clearly. You want America to be at peace. You want Iran not to have a nuclear weapon. God makes Trump walk away to ensure that Iran has a nuclear weapon. that ensure that there is no peace, to put America on an inevitable path to war.
That's right.
Thus say of geopolitical forecasters.
That's right.
Right? Listen on that.
Okay.
Where we at? Back to Psalms 22 and 28.
It's the book of Psalm, chapter 22 and verse 28. It says, for the kingdom is Yahweh's, and he is the governor among the nations.
That's right. The kingdom is Yahweh's, and he is the governor. So you think that you have governors and kings and presidents up, but truthfully, the Most High God is the president. He's the governor. He's ruling things. Read it again.
For the kingdom is Yahweh's.
The kingdom. All of this is the Most High's. Read.
And he is the governor among the nations.
That's right. The governor among all nations. Who controls all nations? Who is the dictator? Who is the supreme emperor? The Most High God, Yahweh. He making all these judgments. He making these things happen. What he wants to do is what Trump is doing. Donald, I need you to walk in there. I need you to walk away from this deal.
Right.
I need you to get ready for war, because that's what's inevitable at this point. Listen on that.
Okay.
Daniel 4 and 17. Okay.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 4 and verse 17.
This
matter is by the decree of the watchers.
Read on.
And the demand by the word of the holy ones.
To
the intent that the living may know.
All living people need to know what?
That the Most High.
That God, read.
Ruleth in the kingdom of men.
He rules amongst men. Read.
And giveth it to whomsoever he will.
And he gives rulership and dominion to whomever he wants. So he put Trump in power. Read.
And setteth up over
and set up in rulership, read,
the basis of men,
the lowest level men on earth. So Trump, as an Edomite, as a devil the Bible speaks of, as a vile, hateful beast and monster, is the basis of man.
That's right.
But God set him up for his purpose.
That's right.
Because there can't no rival of this country, with him sitting in that office, want to do anything but destroy this place. That's the only, like, if you're a country and you just hate America, but then here comes everything that you hate about America rolled up into one, and he becomes president. He's arrogant. He's a capitalist. He's racist. He's oppressive. He doesn't care about anybody but himself.
Right.
All the things about America that everybody hates rolled into one. What else are you going to want to do but destroy the place that he governs over?
Exactly.
What else does Iran want to do? What else does Russia want to do but make this country cease from existing, especially with this devil on? So the Lord has set up the basis of men.
That's right.
Right? So let's go to Exodus 7 and 13. You had a point?
Yeah, I had a
okay, go ahead.
Because just like the brother was saying, literally Donald Trump is the manifestation of all these negative stereotypes that people have of America. Like racist, fat, bigot.
That's right.
That's what Donald Trump is. And the Most High got him set up so all these countries can look around and just hate America.
That's right.
And ultimately destroy it.
That's right.
Right? Exodus 7:13. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 7 and verse 13. It says, and he hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he hearkened not unto them. God hardened Pharaoh's heart so he wouldn't listen. When Moses and Aaron kept coming to Pharaoh and saying, let our people go, Pharaoh might have done it, but the Most High hardened his heart to ensure that he wouldn't do it. In the same way, Trump could have walked in there and continued that Iran deal. Instead, the Most High hardened his heart. See, the Most High is pulling all the strings. He's totally in control. He's the puppet master here, man. We living in a big Sims game, and the Most High got the controller, and he's doing what the hell he want, when the hell he want. Period. The Most High God is in control. Finish that? It says that he hearkened not unto them as Yahweh had said. You see that? The Most High said that he wasn't going to do it. He told Moses ahead of time that he planned to harden Pharaoh's heart, but you got to go anyway and talk to him. This is the way it's got to play out. Right. This is Most High script. You got to go and you read a movie script. You got to go and talk to this guy, try to get him stop from killing this guy. But guess what? He's still going to do it anyway. That's how the script. That's how the movie's going to play out. You read the script. You just playing your part. You know what's going to happen, but you just playing your part. Why? Because that has to happen. That's how the plot builds. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the Most High's movie, and he's just dealing with plot development right now. He's making it good. Get your popcorn. Just when you thought America was smooth sailing, here comes a damn monkey wrench. Donald Trump come up in here messing everything up.
that brown nose and Obama tried to undo. Here come Trump now, shaking things up, and it's beautiful. Right? Just in on that or precept? Go ahead.
And just going into, brother, Donald Trump hardened in his heart, just how Pharaoh was. Right?
That's right.
This is Job 9:4. He is wise in heart and mighty in strength, talking about the Most High, who hath hardened himself against him and hath prospered.
So what does that mean? Donald Trump is not going to prosper. He's going to get this place burned down most likely. Right? I mean, this place is going to burn. We just don't know under whose regime. It may be on the Trump. It may be on the later president. Hopefully, it's Donald Trump. Get the hell out of here. In his first tour, first 4 years, first term rather. Revelations 11:8, because we read about Egypt, Pharaoh's heart being hard. This is a modern day Egypt that we're living in. So he's like a modern day Pharaoh. So it's the same type of scenario in the spirit taking place again. Read.
This book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 8. And their dead bodies.
And their what?
Dead bodies.
Read on.
Shall lie in the streets.
That's talking about us. Read.
Of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
This is that great city spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Look around. All you see is sodomy or some type of Egyptian symbology. This is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. 1 Kings 22 and 19 to 23.
1 Kings 22.
19 to 23. To understand how the Most High works and influences leaders, rulers, and nations, and controls them. Right?
1 Kings chapter 22 and verse 19. And he said, hear thou therefore the word of Yahweh. I saw Yahweh sitting on his throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing by him.
Read.
On his right hand and on his left.
So you got angels and demons on the right and left hand side. Read.
And Yahweh said, who shall persuade Ahab?
So he's having a council. I have a purpose. My purpose is dealing with Ahab and Ahab's death. So we ask all the spirits, angels and demons, who shall persuade Ahab? Read.
That he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead.
I need him to die here at this specific battle. If he gets to this battle, he will die. How are we going to get him to this battle? The Most High asked the spirits. Read.
And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner.
So here all these men are. They trying to get the job. They're trying to please their creator, their master, the Most High Yahweh. So here are angels and demons coming up with the strategies that they are planning to utilize in order to cause Ahab to go to this battle to meet his death. Read.
And there came forth a spirit.
Here comes a spirit. This is an evil spirit, a left-hand spirit. Read.
And stood before Yahweh and said.
See where he stood. He's a spirit. These spirits have a likeness. Read.
And said, I will persuade him.
I'm going to persuade him. How?
Verse 22. And Yahweh said unto him, wherewith?
How you going to do it? Read.
And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets.
This David said, I'm going to hop on all the prophets in the northern kingdom. I'm going to turn them into liars except one. I'm going to turn all these niggas into liars, and it's going to cause this dude to go into this battle because all the prophets are going to prophesy that he's going to win the battle. Read.
And he said.
So it's confident. You know, a lot of people, when you feel like, okay, I'm definitely going to win this fight, it makes them more, sound in mind with walking into the fight. It's easier for them. Oh, I'm going to win for sure. So all the prophets told him, oh, you're going to win for sure, because they're lying their ass off because they know he's going to lose. But this lying spirit got up on him to lie to the king, except one prophet. Read. And that prophet's giving this test of the Most High showed him this vision. Read.
And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also.
And prevail. So the Most High said, you will persuade this man and you will prevail, because this prophet revealed this vision unto Ahaz. Ahaz still took his ass to Ramoth Gilead and still ended up in a damn box. Right? Read.
Go forth and do so.
I said on that 23, right?
No, that's 23. Guys.
Okay, go ahead.
It says, now therefore, behold, Yahweh hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets.
I'll put that demon on them guys. Go ahead.
And Yahweh has spoken evil concerning thee.
He's spoken evil because he wants this guy to die. In the same way as he putting spirits on Trump to make Trump do what he's doing, all to the inevitable judgment of America, Babylon, the Great, the Whore. Period. He wants this place dead. Right? Daniel 10 and 12. The 13.
This book of Daniel. This This book of Daniel, chapter 10, verse 12. Then said he unto me, Fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that thou didst set thine heart to understand and to chasten thyself before thy power, thy words were heard.
That's 3 weeks he was fasting. He chastised himself. So he said, from the first day your words were heard. The angel's explaining to him after he comes 3 weeks into Daniel's fast. Start from the top.
10 and 1?
No, 10 and 12. So like
this book of Daniel, chapter 10, verse 12. Then said he unto me,
read.
Fear not, Daniel.
Don't worry, Daniel. Read.
For from the first day,
from the very first day, read,
that thou didst set thine heart to understand,
that you started to fast to get understanding, read,
and to chasten thyself before thy power.
Oh, hold on, y'all. 1 second. Salakia, man. Kids are crazy. So, where was we at? Daniel 10. Start back at the top of 12.
Daniel 10 and 12. Then said he unto me, Fear not, Daniel.
Fear not, read.
For from the first day that thou didst set thine heart to understand.
From the first day of your fast, read.
And to chasten thyself before thy power,
read.
Thy words were heard.
The Most High heard you and was going to bring you understanding. Read on. From the first day, mind you, he's 3 weeks in. Read.
And I am come for thy words.
I'm here to give you understanding. That's what the angel's coming for. Read.
But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 1 days.
But I've been caught up because I've been trying to influence the prince of Persia to do what I need him to do, which is ultimately go to war with Babylon and become the next world power. But he withstood me. He resisted for 21 days. Meaning it's like the angel was putting thoughts, like you might get a thought, go to the store. Go to the store, man. Come on, you need to get your ass up, go to the store. But you never go. The thought is getting put in your head, right? But you're resisting it because it deals with the power of the spiritual entity that's influencing you. That's what it deals with, and it's going to elaborate further. Read.
But lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me.
He came to help. This angel was struggling with influencing the prince of Persia. So Michael had to come and influence and assist him in influencing him to get the job done because he is a lower level, lower ranking angel than Michael. So he wasn't quite fit for the job. He didn't quite have the spiritual strength to influence the prince of Persia. So Michael had to come. And Michael, under Yahushua and the Most High, he got the most power. So, of course, he was able to get the job done. Read.
And I remained there with the kings of Persia.
And he remained there to influence these rulers of Persia, to be there and influence them and make sure that they go to war with Babylon and conquer them for the purpose of the Lord. Read.
Now I am come to make thee understand.
Now that I'm done with that, for now, I'm here for you, Daniel, to make you to understand some things that you've been fasting for. Go ahead.
What shall befall thy people in the latter days?
To tell you what's getting ready to happen to your people. What verse you at?
14.
All I needed was 13. Skip to 20.
Verse 20. Then said he, Knowest thou wherefore I come unto thee?
Read.
And now will I return to fight.
Now I done gave you the breakdown. Now I got to go fight. Read.
With the prince of Persia.
Now I got to go fight with the prince of Persia, meaning I got to get on the side of the prince of Persia and celestially be there to muster the strength of his terrestrial hosts and armies to fight against Babylon, to rise up the great Medo-Persian Empire and the power. This is what the angel is doing. So it's showing you that these entities, whether it be a demon on the left hand or an angel on the right hand, the Most High God utilizes them to influence people, but especially world rulers and world powers.
Right.
Donald Trump is no different.
Oh.
Right? Keep going. That's 20?
Yeah, there's more than that.
Oh, more on 20.
On 20.
Oh, go ahead.
It says, and now will I return to fight with the prince of Persia.
And watch this. Read.
And when I am gone forth.
And when I'm gone forth, read.
Lo, the prince of Greece shall come.
He's saying, then after I'm done with them,
right.
with Persia, then the prince of Greece is going to rise up, meaning Greece is going to be the next world power. Okay. Now go to the next chapter. Read 2 to 3.
And real quick, which proves when it says, and there was a war in heaven, Michael and all his, it's not talking about a literal. Do you think that the angel was literally going to the prince of Persia and boxing him? Like, come on, bro. Let's be honest here.
Well, no, the war in heaven with Michael and the angels fighting against the beast is literally going to be the chariots fighting.
The Christian church will say that's like Satan and
the angels fighting. Yeah, they don't fight.
Yeah.
Now, I want to tell you in Jude that when Satan was encountered with Michael, all he had to say was Yahweh. All he had to say was the name. It's to command him in the name, and it stops Satan in his tracks. Okay. So they're not up there having a war like that. How they fight it's literally the same as gaming. That's the easiest metaphor to put it in. It's like instead of me and this brother going head up and fighting each other fisticuffs, we say, all right, nigga, we're gonna turn on fight night, and who can whoop who ass on fight night, right. And that's how we're gonna do it, right? That's literally how they're fighting, but with us. They're trying to influence us to do these various things. And whoever side the Most High is on, whatever purpose the Most High has, that's who's going to prevail, right? So read.
Daniel.
The Most High might give somebody an assignment and they fail their assignment.
Right.
Just because you were given an assignment, it does not ensure that you are going to prevail. But the Most High, when he assures you you'll prevail, then you prevail. Like in the case of that lying demon, that lying spirit that went out to the man, he said, you will do this and you will prevail. This will work. This will cause him to go to Ramoth Gilead to fight in a war that he will lose his life in. Right? So go ahead.
Look at Daniel chapter 11, verse 1.
2 to 3.
Verse 2. And now will I show thee the truth.
The what?
The truth.
Read.
Behold, there shall
stand. This is the angel still talking to Daniel. I'm going to show you the truth before I got to go back to Persia. Read.
Behold, there shall stand up yet 3 kings.
3 kings. Read.
In Persia.
In Persia. Read.
And the 4th shall be far richer.
Gonna be the greatest one. Gonna be the richest one. The 4th one, read.
Than they all. And by his strength, through his riches, he shall stir up all against the realm of Grecia.
You see that? Through his strength, through his riches, through the great wealth that he comes into, Greece gonna rise up and come against him. That's Alexander. That's what he's showing him, the prophecy. And this angel is actually going to be a part of all this and going to be a driving factor in influencing all of these kings in order for the purpose of the Lord to happen and for the vision that Daniel broke down of Nebuchadnezzar in that dream of that statue could all come to pass through the Spirit. Read.
God. It says, and a mighty king shall stand up that shall rule with his great dominion.
Alexander the Great.
With great dominion. And do according to his will.
That's 3.
That's 3.
That's it on that. Oh, you got a precept?
Yeah, a precept.
So what's going on clearly is the Most High, just like in times of old, is using his celestial spiritual forces that exist in another realm, at what they call the 4th dimension or the spiritual realm, to influence what's going on here on our terrestrial realm in the 3rd dimension to his purpose, to the purpose of the fulfillment of the prophecies that he put in this book thousands of years ago. Okay. And it's beautiful, it's marvelous in our eyes. Go ahead.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 16 and verse 15. The Lord hardened Pharaoh that he should not know him.
That's right.
That his powerful works might be known to the world.
So it's the same way he's hardening Trump and other world leaders for the same purpose, for his works to be known in the earth. Right? Get Ephesians 6 and 12. Because that's what's going on here. It is a war in a spiritual realm. And so many of our people think so carnally, they're not understanding the spiritual war that's going on here. They're not understanding. But through the Spirit and power of Yahweh, we're trying to give y'all the understanding. Read that.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood.
We wrestle not against flesh and blood. Too many of our people think this fight is so flesh and blood. It's not flesh and blood. Read.
But against principalities.
But against principalities. Read.
Against powers. Against the rulers of the darkness of this world.
You see that? So that's what you're fighting against. You're fighting against spirits. These spirits is hopping on you, and that this doesn't just translate to world leaders and global events and prophecies playing out. This translates even to the micro level, to you as an individual, and the spirits and the demons that's hopping on you, that you have to be girded properly to fight through the Spirit with these words. You have to be girded to be able to combat these spirits, because these same spirits is going to hop on you and try to influence you to destroy your goddamn self.
That's right.
Are you going to be good enough to fight and withstand these spirits as the Prince of Persia withstood that angel 21 days? He had to go get Michael, because what's going to happen is that demon going to get on you. You withstand that demon, he going to go try to get reinforcements. You got to be able to withstand that. So you got to gird yourself, right? And don't be like Trump. Trump getting totally controlled as like a robot.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? His moves is clearly showing that, right? Go ahead.
It says against spiritual wickedness in high places.
That's what we fighting against through the spirit. Okay. Period. Any other precepts?
Yeah, I got precepts.
You all right?
Oh, wrong way. All right. Salah. All right. What's going on? This is the book of James, chapter 1 and verse 12. Blessed is the man that endured temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life.
There you go. Some guys is struggling with enduring temptation. You got to be girded in the spirit, man. Guys get weak. We all get weak at times. We all have what I call FAF, man. All right. And I'll say it frankly, it's called faggot ass feelings. Okay. Everybody will get in them feelings at times. When I say that too, don't get it twisted. I'm not talking about feelings of homosexuality. All right. What I mean by faggot ass feelings is you get emotional. Okay. You get hyper emotional. You get sensitive. All right. This thing ain't for brothers that's sensitive, man. Leave that to the sisters. Right. Right. You getting them, having them sensitive moments. You have to fight that with the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi Ahshar. You have to not fall victim to that, man. You have to endure hardness as a good soldier, not as a sensitive hoe, man. I'm just going to come straight, right? So we'll open it up for questions. Open it up for questions.
Okay. And then even Sirach, the second chapter and first verse tells you, when you come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation.
There you go. If you ain't prepared, man, you know, you in the wrong game. You got to take a step back, reevaluate things, gird your ass up, man.
That's right. I'll check the chat. Questions.
We got it right here. You can see it. Shalom, Daniela. Go ahead. Niggas ain't got questions tonight. Somebody was asking about questions earlier.
Maybe either that or someone typing a long one.
What's going on?
Can you break down the lunar Sabbath?
Okay. No, that's perfect. Perfect time. But we got a video that's gonna come out on it too. Remember, from the brother that came up on the street. Okay. But yeah, go ahead. What you got? Yep.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 46 and verse 1.
Thus
saith the Lord God.
Thus saith the Lord God. Read.
The gate of the inner court that looketh toward the east.
Read.
Shall be shut the 6 working days.
Shall be shut how many days?
The 6 working days.
Go ahead.
But on the Sabbath.
On the what?
On the Sabbath.
And what?
It shall be open. And in the day of the new moon.
Ooh, so wait a minute. So here we have the inner court shall be closed 6 working days, but shall be open on the Sabbath and the new moon. Okay. Here's a conundrum. If the Sabbath and new moon do not correlate, the inner court cannot be closed 6 days of the working week. It's impossible.
That's right.
It'll have to be closed to, like, for example, the new moon is tonight. This is a Monday on the white man's calendar. Friday is 4 days from now. So that literally means that it'll be open and then closed 4 days. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't compute. It doesn't make sense. So these things correlate with one another. Give me Genesis 1:14.
This book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament.
Let there be what?
Lights in the firmament.
Let there be lights in the firmament. Read.
Of the heaven. To divide the day from the night. And let them be for signs.
Be for what?
For signs.
Read.
And for seasons. And for days and years.
Signs, seasons, days, and years. So the only thing that the Most High God gave us as a calendar were the sun, the moon, and the stars. That was given to us as a calendar.
Yeah.
He didn't give us the Hooters calendar. He didn't give us the little puppy calendar. He didn't give us any of that. He gave us the sun, the moon, and the stars.
Yeah.
So if we use any other methodology but the sun, the moon, and stars to tell time, we cannot be telling time as the Most High God intended us to.
Yeah.
That's not doing that, right? Most High intended us to tell time by what changes with time. The sun dictates hours, right? Every hour the sun is in a different place in the sky.
Yeah.
The moon, days, weeks, months,
Right.
because it has its phases that it goes through, days, weeks, and months.
Okay.
The stars for seasons, man.
Okay.
All right. So if you're going by anything but the moon to dictate days, weeks, and months, which of course the Sabbath comes on the seventh day, then you've missed the mark,
Okay.
quite frankly. Certain brothers keep Friday or Saturday. It is what it is. That's their understanding. But very plainly pursuant to just Ezekiel 46 and Genesis 1,
Okay.
to use any standard outside of the sun, moon, and stars to tell our time Hebraically according to the divine calendar, it don't make any sense. And these brothers know that. A lot of brothers know that, because though they keep a Friday to Saturday Sabbath, they'll go by the sun, moon, and stars for every other thing Hebraically, as if somewhere in the scriptures we're told that we have two calendars. Right? Matter of fact, there's something here in Exodus. I'm gonna find it real brief. I'm gonna find y'all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, the very first time that the Israelites ever kept the Sabbath. An argument that people say is, well, God rested the seventh day. Give me that in Peter's, a day to the Lord, real quick. Because a lot of people don't understand the creation didn't happen over the course of 7 24-hour days. All right. That's a common misconception that people have that lead them to come to an erroneous conclusion in regards to how you dictate the Sabbath. The Sabbath is made for man. Therefore, the Sabbath that the Most High and the angels and Yahweh who were celestially creating observed is totally separate from that in which we are told to have. And I'll break that one down in a second, but go ahead.
This book is 2 Peter 3:8. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years.
So we're being told by the Apostle Peter, do not be ignorant that a day to the Lord is 1,000 years. Don't be ignorant to that. So if you say that, well, God rested on the seventh day, you're ignorant, because that's not Friday to Saturday. Seventh day to God is entirely different, is 1,000 years, right? And people will say, well, and then they'll use that logic and say, well, we can't go by the moon for the Sabbath because the moon was created on the fourth day. Well, we didn't exist until the fifth day. So it was created for in the preparation that we would need it in order to tell time. That's what it was created for. 1,000 years before we existed, we meaning people, right? So that, again, doesn't make sense. Real quick, I want to take y'all to the very first time that Israel ever kept a Sabbath through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. 16 and 23. Now watch this. Watch this. Let's go up. No. Read 23.
This book of Exodus, chapter 16 and verse 23. And he said unto them, this is that which Yahweh hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto Yahweh.
Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto Yahweh, right? Read.
Bake that which you will bake today, and seed that you will seed, and that which remaineth over lay up for you to be kept until the morning.
Exactly, right? So he says tomorrow is going to be the holy Sabbath, correct? Now watch this. 3, correct. Hold on. So running this code, I had this ready.
And for Street Dude, if you just go to exodus1715.org/calendar, you can get the Sabbath dates on there.
Yes, sir.
All the feast days.
That's right. Feast of First Fruits coming up June the 4th. Lord willing. Hold on. What the hell? I just had it. because it'll tell you here, I think in verse 1. Go to verse 1. Right. There you go. Verse 1 is going to give you a day, right? And I'm going to show you. Go ahead. Read this while I look for the next scripture. Go ahead.
This is Exodus 16:1. And they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came into the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai. On the 15th day
of the what?
Of the 15th day.
On the 15th day
of the second month after their departing out of the land of Egypt.
So on the 15th day of the second month. Now watch this. Hold on. There's one more because some time passes in this. It's going to show you. It's going to correlate with the moon. I just got to find the time pass scripture. So we have on one day it's being kept. On the 15th day is where this starts at. All right. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is what happens. Select it. Watch this. Okay. So, Salakia, read verse 1 again.
Okay. This is Exodus 16:1. And they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came unto the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai. On the 15th day.
On the 15th day, read.
Of the second month after their departing out of the land of Egypt.
Okay, so there's no disputation that the 15th day coincides with the lunar phase. It's 14 days after the new moon, right? That would be on the day of the full moon, the 15th day, right? So now skip to verse 22 and read 22 and 23. So this starts on the 15th day. Now where are we at? Read.
And it came to pass, Exodus 16:22. And it came to pass that on the 6th day,
6 days later, that's the 21st day of the month. Read.
They gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man.
Why? Because that's what you do the day before the Sabbath. That's where you get the day of preparation from. Read.
And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. And he said unto them.
And he told them 6 days after the 15th, which is the 21st. Read.
This is that which the Lord hath said.
Tomorrow, the next day, read,
is the rest of the holy Sabbath.
That's the Sabbath. That's the 22nd day. So the very first time that the nation of Israel ever is recorded in history of keeping the Sabbath coincides with the lunar phase, the 22nd day of the second month.
There's no getting
that's the first time ever. What are the Sabbaths pursuant to the lunar calendar? The 1st, the 8th, the 15th, the 22nd. Those are from the new moon and every 7 days thereafter. So as we see on record, the very first time the Israelites ever kept the Sabbath, it was in coincidence with the lunar cycle. Is that a coincidence? In addition to Ezekiel 46:1, in addition to Genesis 1, I mean, how many times we got to do it? It's clear through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But if you keep the Friday, Saturday, Sabbath, I'm not going to knock you. I'm not going to try to force it on you. It is what it is. But this is why we keep it, because we clearly believe that this is what our ancient forefathers did, and they didn't follow a Gregorian calendar.
Right.
And Friday to Saturday hasn't been the 7-day cycle since the beginning of time. I think that's very asinine to believe. If you believe it, again, I don't knock you. Hallow a day, keep a Sabbath, rehearse the righteous acts. We love brothers just the same. We function with plenty of brothers who keep a Friday to Saturday Sabbath. But us here, we keep alone.
That's right.
Okay, so Lakia.
So what do you think about the Enoch calendar?
The Enoch calendar, it's a convenient calendar, just like Friday to Saturday is a convenient Sabbath. But you have certain people who keep an Enoch calendar to keep a Friday, Saturday Sabbath, and that's off. You got to keep a Sabbath on Wednesday if you keep the Enoch calendar. But I don't follow the Enoch calendar at all. And because it's in a flawed book, I wouldn't deal with it. Do you think it is possible till a week before the Sabbath? You think it's possible to tell us a week? Yeah, Salaki, that's what you said. Yeah, go to the thing, yeah. Because I mean we could start doing it as well, but you know, everything is there on our website. Which Bible do we read? Various versions, but predominantly the King James Version. Is that the only questions that was there? Okay, hold on. We got a couple things. Salaki, I'm gonna go up a little bit. Okay, boom. He had that. Brother had asked about the breakdown. Okay. If spirits on the left hand side work for Yahweh, why does he allow them to hop on us? If James says he doesn't tempt men with evil. Why does he allow men to hop? Why does he allow them to hop on us? He doesn't do it from the right side. So what we have to understand is a lot of times what's attributed to the Most High is his right side work, his righteousness, and things of that nature. And what's attributed to his left hand work is principally attributed to Satan. So in that context, that's what he's referring to. Count of the zodiacs. All the zodiac sign, as you know it, as we know it today, is totally flawed and off, and is an entirely Greco-Roman construct. Ancient black nations never followed the zodiacs of today. That includes ancient Egypt, ancient Sumer, and most importantly, ancient Israel. Our zodiac dealt with the Hebrew alphabet that you can see in the sky. I don't know why they celebrate no more. Ezekiel 20 and 37. Is the Lord bringing Israel into the bond of the new covenant? Yes. After we're delivered, when we're in the wilderness again, we're going to be brought into the wilderness by Yahushua, and that's when we'll be brought into the bond of the new covenant. We're not there yet. It's on. What's your question about Acts 13 and 26? Zebulon soldier. I was told that the 144,000 are the only ones that'll be immortal. No one will be technically immortal. There's one. Give me the scripture. There's one immortal. Yeah, check the description for the website, but Exodus1715.org.
I got it.
Go ahead.
1 Timothy 1 and 17. Now unto the King eternal, immortal, invisible, the only wise God, be honor and glory forever and ever.
That's right. That's who's immortal, the Most High. All right. Even what did Yahushua had to see death. Right. We see in death, and then in the kingdom, we're not going to die deaths. We're not going to have death, but we aren't going to live forever. We're going to live, you know, a full day like Adam and them used to live. A long time, close to 1,000 years, that area. Right. But we're not going to just live forever. What kind of fabric can we not wear? It's mixed fabrics. Outside of that, you could hypothetically wear a lot of fabric, but it's mixed fabrics that you cannot wear. Right. So, for example, a cotton polyester blend. Now, Exodus with the E, Ayash. The E is on the website. The E is just not on the email, but the E is on the website. Can women wear makeup? Yes, women can wear makeup. Hold on. Yeah. Judith, you got the red book? No.
I mean, I got my phone. So.
No, I got it. Judith. Women can wear makeup. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of guys is pushing like this, like you just can't do anything to look pretty doctrine, and that's not biblical. Let your girl change it up a little bit sometimes. She ain't always got to wear makeup or have her hair a certain way or whatever. But let her change it up, man. Trust me, you'll like it.
Good, 10-4.
So like it. 10-4? There you go.
Yeah. It's the book of Judah, chapter 10, verse 4. And she took sandals upon her feet and put about her bracelets and her chains.
So she got dressed up. She put on sandals. She got decked out in jewelry. This sister, Judith, a righteous sister, read.
And her rings and her earrings and all her
put on
ornaments.
them hoop earrings. You know how the sisters do. Go ahead.
And all her ornaments and decked herself bravely.
Decked herself bravely. What is decked? She decorated herself bravely, meaning to get attention. Read.
To allure the eyes of all.
To allure the eyes. Read.
To allure the eyes of all men that should see her.
Read on.
Then she gave her maid a bottle of wine and a cruse of oil and filled a bag with parched corn and lumps of figs and with fine bread. So she folded all these things together and laid them upon her.
Keep going.
Thus they went forth to the gate of the city of Bethulia and found standing there Ozias and the ancients of the city, Chabris and Carmis.
So like in 1 second. Yeah, there you go. 7. 7 is the point. Go ahead.
And when they saw her, that her countenance was altered.
That her what?
Countenance was altered.
How does a woman alter her countenance? By putting makeup on. Read.
And her apparel was changed. They wondered at her beauty.
They wondered. They said, damn, this is a fine sister. So there's nothing wrong with that. Get it? Can you get it in the GNT real quick? Verse 7. Because verse 7 is going to be, it's going to tell you plain. They didn't use the terminology makeup in the time of King James, right? It says a girl altered her countenance, right? She decorated herself, right?
Judith 10:7 in the Good News Translation. When the men saw Judith after she had changed clothes and put on makeup.
And done what?
And put on makeup.
And put on makeup. That's right there. You see? So it's all right for a sister to do it. You know, of course, there's lines to it. And of course, as a husband, you know, you have a say in her allowance in doing so. Okay, so boom. Okay. Isn't Esau the stock of Abraham? Okay, no. What you have to understand is when you start dealing with the seed of Abraham, give me Galatians 4. Give me Galatians 4. Because Paul quantified seed of Abraham, technically Esau, Ishmael, Midian, and several other people are Abrahamic people. But the people who continued in the customs of Abraham and are the forerunners of what is the seed of Abraham is Israel. All right. So we'll expound further. Go ahead.
Galatians 4.
No, still, yeah, exactly. This is the similar to. I want you start at like 21.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
This is Galatians 4:21. No, it's 22. It says, "For it is written that Abraham had two sons, the one by a bondmaid, the other by a free woman."
So we got his two sons, Isaac and Ishmael. Isaac, of course, the father of Jacob and Esau. Go ahead.
"But he who was of the bondwoman was born after the flesh, but he of the free woman was by promise."
Read.
"Which things are an allegory. For these are the two covenants. The one from the Mount Sinai, which gendereth to bondage, which is Hagar. For this Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia, and answereth to Jerusalem," which proves Esau and the Arabs.
That's right. And answers to Jerusalem. Go ahead.
"And answereth to Jerusalem, which now is and is in bondage with her children."
Go ahead.
"But Jerusalem, which above is free, which is the mother of us all."
So that shows that the Abraham who has right to be called seed of Abraham went through Isaac. Right now, get Romans 9.
Yeah.
There you go. In the spirit, read.
Romans 9 and 7. "Neither because they are the children, neither because they are the seed of Abraham."
Not because they're the seed of Abraham. Read.
"Are they all children?"
Are they all children? Read.
"But in Isaac shall thy seed be called." Again,
disqualifying Ishmael. Read.
"That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God."
You see that? They can't be called the seed of Abraham. Even though technically they are, when we're dealing on a spiritual level, they can't be called the seed of Abraham. They're not. That's why they have Islam. Read.
"But the children of the promise are counted for the seed."
That's who's counted as the seed of Abraham, the children of the promise. Read. Keep going, because we got to get Esau out of there. Go ahead.
"For this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this."
Not just this. Read.
"But when Rebekah."
Okay, so this promise carries on to Rebekah. Read.
"Also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac." That proves he's talking to the Israelites.
Yeah, exactly.
Our father.
And you see that? To the Romans, our father Isaac. Read.
"For the children being not yet born."
Not yet born. Read.
"Neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand."
What's the purpose? That the Israelites become the children of the promise. Read.
"Not of works, but of him that calleth."
Read on.
"It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated."
Showing you that Jacob are the children of the promise.
That's right.
He loved Jacob by giving them the promise, hated Esau by rejecting them. You see that?
That's right.
That's who the children of the promise are. So we are the seed of Abraham in that sense. Right? If you got another precept?
Romans 9:4.
Okay.
"Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of God and the promises."
Not Esau, not Ishmael. So we are exclusively the stock of Abraham in that context. So what is the explanation of Matthew 22:30 and Mark 12:25 concerning not being married or given in marriage, being as the angels? That's talking about in the spirit realm, people don't have sex because we're spirits. That's all that's dealing with. Some people will say Esau is not white because the Hebrew word Laban is not used. How do you respond to that? Well, he's not white. White people have called themselves white to trick people because white is synonymous with purity.
Right.
They're not white. These pages of this Bible is white. They're not that color. They're red. That's why they're called rednecks. You see what I'm saying? They came out red all over like a hairy garment, Esau. They're white people. They're so-called white people. That's a false construct in and of itself. The same way we're not black people. We're different shades of brown. All of that was invented to trick people. It's called newspeak, right? Shalom to the brother Bino. All praise Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Israel itself a conglomerate of nations. Get that, Genesis 35. I mean, you can say that for sure. That's why you have the African American man, the Jamaican man, the Mexican man, Puerto Rican man, the Brazilian man. That's a conglomerate of nations now. Right. We've been magnified, but read that.
This is in Genesis chapter 35 and verse 10. It says, and God said unto him, thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name.
That's right.
And he called his name Israel. And God said unto him, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee.
That's why. You take a look at that 12 tribe chart. That's a company of nations. African American, West Indian, Haitian. But being a West Indian is a company of nations. Even Levi, though we're attributed to our chief location of Haiti, Levi is the Louisiana Creole. All the other French West Indians, Afro-Argentines, etc. Those are the Afro-Cubans. Those are also Levi. You see what I'm saying? So we all, we're all companies. You have African American. That is the 10th most powerful economically nation in the world. We a company of nations, man. How many wives can we have? Hey, listen, as many as you can handle, brother. As many as you can handle. There's not a limit in the Bible. Solomon had 1,000, right? Would you have to pray to know exactly what tribe they are from? Some people may. Some people may not have clarity, and they can pray and ask to the Most High, and the Most High show them that. But there are spiritual fruits and indicators to let us know what tribe is which. But sometimes, brother may have a questionable background and, may not know his father and things like that. So you may need to seek the Most High on it. But ultimately, your spirit beareth witness. Sorry. So when people try to use Ezekiel 3:16-26 to say it was all taken from us as far as being able to wear makeup, dress up, you mean Isaiah 3. How do we come against it if there's... Well, the Most High said he was going to take it from you, and the Most High taking it from you in the time of slavery. In the time of slavery, all of that was taken from you. You see what I'm saying? But all of those curses, that doesn't mean that you can't wear those. If you have the ability to get it, then you can. There's nothing wrong with it. My father's from Louisiana, not Creole, though. Well, it just depends. You have to make inquisition upon your father's lineage, because you have a lot of Judites that moved to Louisiana because of how booming its economy is. But if you're a Levite from over there, it don't take a lot of inquisition to find that out, to find out that your family has a Creole background and things of that nature. It's not hard to figure that out. So if not, you're a Judite. Like, for example, Taza Mahmoud's grandmother is from Louisiana, but her people moved there. You see what I'm saying? And they don't have the Levitical background of either enslaved by French people who were there or Haitian people who immigrated to there after the Haitian Revolution. Priest, in another lesson dealing with the serpent, I believe you said Israel is the tree of life, whose leaves will heal the nations. If that's true, how does this work with the Garden of Adam? It's how it works. Adam's nation of people was the tree of life. And he was given dominion over those people, the same way Yahushua will have dominion over us as the kingdom. So during his time of rulership over those people and being the person in charge of ruling over that vineyard, so to speak, what occurred was he went off. So he was thrust out of power by his people, out of the garden. Yahweh is one. No, it is not a sin. Isn't that self-abuse? If you're a porn addict, you'll probably abuse yourself, and that's off. But technically, there's not a scripture that says it's a sin. So that's what I mean by, if we're going by letter of the law, there's not a scripture on it. What is Isaiah 66? Get Isaiah 66. You got it? Go ahead.
Yeah, this book Isaiah 66 and 24. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me, for their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched. I think it's Tophet.
Yeah, there's going to be a location in the kingdom of heaven, meaning in Israel, when we're in rulership, that's going to be like a miniature lake of fire that people will be thrown in and be tormented in. So that's what that's talking about. When the Most High prevented him from eating from the tree, saying Adam, yeah, the tree of knowledge of good and evil is different from the tree of life, meaning go and deal with that nation and exchange information with them and make covenants with them. That's what that meant by him not eating of that tree. Come, all praise the Most High. Oh my goodness gracious. See, people, this always come up. Listen, man. Listen, I put my hand over my mouth dealing with that situation, man. Ask yourself that. Are you convicted after you indulge in that? All right, what would Jesus do? Are you convicted by it? You know, they didn't have Pornhub in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So that ain't exactly covered. But a lot of people, if you get convicted by certain things, maybe that's something that you shouldn't do. You should really ask yourself that. Did Christ teach reincarnation? Of course. He gives us a verbatim example of it. Oh, yeah. Yes, there was many more people than Adam and Eve. There were nations of people. That's who the trees were. And that's who their tree was, the tree of life. Right? So read.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 13. For all the prophets in the law prophesied until John. And if you will receive it, this is Elijah who was for to come.
He said John the Baptist was Elijah. So he gives us a verbatim example of reincarnation. What are we allowed to eat? I know not pork. Read Leviticus 11 and it'll tell you what you cannot eat. And anything that is not listed on the things that you cannot eat, you can't eat. No, because those are prostitutes that you're looking at. So that wouldn't necessarily fall under that. That's why I say if you're convicted by it, ask yourself. The average person knows there's something off about indulging in such a thing. So, I mean, that should, some things are a law to, you have a law to yourself, man. Right? Final question. Is smoking weed a sin? Yes. Give me Corinthians. Old Testament only Israelites will say the law doesn't teach against it. And they'll quote herb scriptures. Where in the herb scripture does it say to burn an herb?
Right.
That's abuse. Go ahead.
Oops, sorry, I got the wrong one. Let's see. Brother just gonna ask me.
Yes, there is, Yasmin. There are plenty of scriptures that describe that. Then we're going to have to go to Romans 10 for Yasmin, but do that first.
This book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse... 2 Corinthians. No wonder. Yeah, my fault. My apologies, family. All right. 1 Corinthians 3 and 16.
Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? It happens so often. It's kind of crazy, guys. I mean, it's clearly a problem, which is why guys should identify, like, maybe I shouldn't deal with that because it's a problem. But go ahead.
It says, know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy.
You see that? Him shall God destroy. What does that mean? That means that you're destroying your temple when you're smoking weed and doing any drugs. You're practicing witchcraft, because also that deals with sorcery and things of that nature. You're defiling your temple. You are killing yourself. A nigga smoking weed and thinks, oh, nigga, this cures cancer. You're an idiot, man. Research it. It causes cancer, bro. It doesn't cure cancer. It alleviates the pain of chemotherapy. Right. That's what it does, by getting you high so you forget about it. That's all. Outside of that, it actually gives you cancer-causing cells. One joint has 4 times the carcinogens a cigarette has. Bet you didn't know that. So no, smoking a cigarette, but Old Testament only niggas love weed because they're all bugged out doctrines love weed. Right. Yasmin, the 2/3 will be born back in the kingdom. We'll prove it.
Yeah, I was just about to say something. And before that, when I first came to the truth, the first week I came to the truth, trust me, I tried to find a scripture that could prove I could smoke weed. I tried, and it didn't exist.
That's right.
All right, when you go into it, because I did a lot of research concerning that, going into carcinogens and really tar, which builds up in your lungs when you smoke stuff like cigarettes, right? Marijuana causes, I want to say it's either 2 or 3 times more tar to build up in your lungs than even cigarettes. Someone say, oh, well, weed's more healthy than cigarettes. Well, not necessarily in certain contexts, because it can build up more tar in your lungs than something like cigarettes.
Yeah, it has a use to be eaten, to be in a tea and things of that nature. And there are ways, like you have CBD oil, that you can get all the medicinal uses of it without the THC to intoxicate yourself from, right? But go ahead, get that.
Yeah. This is the book of Romans chapter 11, verse 26. And so all Israel shall be saved.
What?
All Israel shall be saved.
Sister, all Israel shall be saved. So even the 2/3 will be saved. Read.
As it is written.
As it is written, because it's a promise that the Most High gave us. Read.
There shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob.
So the 2/3 will be godly in the kingdom,
right,
when they're saved. Somebody asked, oh yeah, that is a reference to the northern kingdom. What is a woman's role about? A woman has many roles. Depends on, she could be a widow, she could be a single woman, she could be a mother, she could be a wife. There are many roles for sisters in the scriptures, and not just one. I'm still learning. All praise Yahweh. Like I said, I'm still learning. Calm, beautiful, beautiful. Baby lips. I understand. I understand the sad face, man. You ain't gotta explain that. I get it. Can you break down Isaiah 56, son of the stranger? I mean, well, let's go to it. Let's go to Isaiah 56.
Come on, let's look at Isaiah 56.
But no, for the rate, it's not addressing Israelite foreigners. Go ahead.
And it's 3. Neither let the son of the stranger that hath joined himself to the Lord speak, saying, the Lord hath utterly separated me from his people.
He's talking about in the kingdom of heaven. In the kingdom of heaven, non-Israelites are going to come and sacrifice at the Most High's temple. That's it. That's all it means. It has no ramifications on right now, though. That's for sure. But go ahead.
Neither let the eunuch say, behold, I am a dry tree.
That's right, because the Most High is going to make the eunuch a productive brother in the kingdom, though he may be a eunuch now. All right? So that's it. What if? Then they repent. The same thing with anybody. Anybody, you're an Israelite, you can repent from anything except blasphemy of the Holy Ghost. That's it. What is your approach to teach children? I'll be honest with you. How I teach my daughter is very simple. She's 3 years old. She can't read yet. So what I do is I open the Bible. She understands that the Bible is important. Number one, I open the Bible and I tell her that it says that something is bad. I.e., if she sees Santa Claus on the table, Santa Claus is bad. She'll then open the Bible and say, Santa is bad. So then she understands that Santa is bad, though verbatim the Bible doesn't say that. Overall, the scriptures say that Santa is bad. So that's how I get her to understand those things. And of course, also Deacon Hakaz's book that he recently put out. Go to deaconsicari.com, get that new book that Deacon put out, Our Children's Bible, a beautiful Bible teaching our kids Bible stories using Black and Hispanic imagery.
That's right.
And also, yeah, try to find the SICARRI Sisterhood classes, as well as joining the SICARRI Sisterhood on Facebook, that group, getting you up in there. So like, I'm getting a little lost. A lot of these fools are made unclean. Do we need to buy kosher? Give me, you shall eat your bread defiled. Yeah. Fruit of the spirits, I mean, yeah, the whole fruit of the spirit thing is really the law of working good things in you, but your spirit also has a spiritual fruit, as in, you know, that attests to the type of brother that you are, you know. So yeah, that in that instance, it'll testify of what tribe you're from. It happens all the time. All the Gadite brothers I know act the same. Don't matter what Gadite tribe they descend from. All these brothers are the same. All the Levite brothers I know, all the Benjamite brothers I know this. And we had a council earlier. Benjamin was on there ravening like a wolf, but niggas want to deny the chart. That's crazy to me. Go ahead.
This is Ezekiel 4:13. And Yahweh said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles.
Our bread is defiled. You can go get kosher food, halal food, any damn food you want. Guess what? It's defiled. Ain't no way around it, right? Just know that don't eat. If you see somebody put a piece of bacon on your goddamn thing, don't eat it.
Right.
There's bacon on it, don't eat it. But if you got it, it looks good, and you don't know, you can't substantiate whether it's been offered to an idol, go ahead, do your thing. What was Sam's Hebrew name? Shamash-one, I believe.
Sister asked, basically, what's the point of being righteous if you're an Israelite because you know you're going to be in the kingdom?
What's the point is receiving the reward of being delivered by Yahushua, by seeing your enemy fall, by getting a crown put on your head by Yahushua, and being able to rule for the initial first 1,000 years with Yahushua and the king. Okay, and for sisters like you, being on the side of a powerful brother.
That's right.
Who will get all those things and reaping his benefits. Go ahead.
This is Daniel 12:2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt.
Boom. So some are going to be ashamed when they wake up to 2/3. They're going to be born and they're going to be ashamed. All right. Brother said, is it a sin to lust after a woman that isn't married? No, it's not. It's not a sin.
That's right.
All right. I'm going to do a lesson on lust because I had made a Facebook post a couple months ago and people went insane because lust is, people don't understand what lust is. If you want a hamburger, nigga, you're lusting. Does that mean you're evil as hell? Hell nah. All right. If you want your woman, you tell your woman, hey, listen, man, I'm going to have us a night. I want you to dress up in something that I find alluring and appealing, you know, for a night in, and we're going to have some fun with your wife. You mean to tell me I'm not supposed to lust? The Bible tells me to be ravished in the love of my wife. I'm supposed to be into you. I'm supposed to lust. I'm supposed to want you. I'm supposed to be at work thinking about you. I can't get home for your fine ass, right? So it's not wrong to lust. It's just wrong to lust after a woman that belongs to another man. That's wrong. That's evil because it's adultery. I'm still learning. Is Ishmael considered an Israelite? No, Ishmael is an Ishmaelite. 2/3 man still got to be greater than the woman. I mean, the order of Israel is man over woman. It's not about, and sister, it's not about being greater. It's just about order. So every Israelite man will be over woman. Every man on the planet is going to be the head of their household because we're going to set the world in order. Where you look is on YouTube. Go ahead.
I think she's what she's trying to say is, well, is a 2/3 man gonna be more blessed than a 1/3
than a
woman?
1/3 woman? No, because you're gonna be joined to a 1/3 man.
Exactly.
So you're gonna reap all the blessings of that brother. A strong going back into the world is unforgivable. I can't say that for sure. I would say I wouldn't play with it though. With all nations, including us, remember all their past lives. I can't tell you that for sure. So I'll put my hand over my mouth for that one. I would assume so, but I couldn't give you a definitive biblical answer. What do you say to the other councils that say nations like natives aren't the tribe of Gad, Mexicans, etc.? And where can we find this info to disprove this? I say that they're out of their damn mind and they begin to go into the Bible and the history to disprove them. Right. We have all kind of videos on our page. Just go to Sicarii, type in Sicarii, go to all our pages, this one, Sicarii Water, and the main Sicarii page, and you'll find an endless amount of information proving all the tribes through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Are we in the beginning of the end? I believe so. No, sir, we had the questions. Come on, come on. Y'all get them while you get them out now. Yeah, man. They're done. With that, we'll give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai and say Ahshar, Chaadash, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
No salvation for Esau. Daniela, I'm not understanding your question. Text it to me. Y'all was when I was getting ready to answer that, but it's too late. Shalom.